Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I'm Sunes Nathaniel. So imagine waking up one morning to discover that your photo or image has been used to create a dirty video, or that your voice has been used as part of an advert campaign solely aimed at misleading, deceiving, and swindling people, including your friends and members of your family. This is the grim reality that many individuals and organizations are battling today. And it all stems from the malicious use of the AI tech we know as deepfake. You see, research suggests that there have been over 300 million views of deepfake pornographic content from various websites this year alone. And thousands have been, reporting that they have been scammed by hackers who are using deepfake videos to extort money from the gullible. The Internet Watchdog Foundation warns that with the deepfake epidemic, child pornography could overrun the internet, and the political analysts fear that this tech might indeed be the biggest threat to our democracy in the nearest future. How do we survive the coming deepfake outbreak? That's our question today on the show. But before we go on, first, let's check the top trends for the week and then our spotlight. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
It's all celebrations for Nigeria on the 11th of December when Victor Osimhen, Asisat Oshoala, and Chiamaka Nnadozie all clinched the top trophies for their respective categories at the CAF Awards 2023. Twitter went agog as Nigerians celebrated the footballers who had made them proud. Wike continued to be a talking point on social media, from felicitations with regards to his birthday to demolitions of the Rivers State Assembly, down to the gale of resignations that hit the Rivers State government, further deepening the crisis in the state. For the third time this week, the national grid collapsed, worsening the blackout already being experienced by many Nigerians who could not help but take to various platforms to vent their frustrations with the ugly development. After years of tussle between the federal government and ASU over the continuous use of the integrated personal payment system, the federal government finally decided to take federal universities, the polytechnics, and colleges of education off the IPACE, thus stirring some debate about ghost workers and funds being wasted across the country. The Supreme Court appearance of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was a huge talking point within the week, and the buzz grew much more after the Apex Court upheld the federal government's appeal, challenging the verdict of the appeal court, which dismissed the charges against Nnamdi Kanu.
Digital disinformation is an existential threat. So as a responsible media organization, Channels Television carried out some sweeps on our digital platforms. Unfortunately, we discovered several attempts to illegally use our brand's credibility in an attempt to give credibility to fraudulent activities using deepfake videos. Deepfake is a deep learning biomachines technology, which is a type of artificial intelligence by altering individuals' facial or vocal expressions. Our search spotted 5 deepfake videos using different channels, television anchors, and guests to deceive unsuspecting people to buy dubious products and services. From a terribly executed deepfake video with audiovisual out of sync to promote a mobile app for winning money using our anchor Kayodoki Kyolu, diabetes treatment using Chamberlain Uso, to promoting drugs for muscle pains using Nyota Egbe and Ayo Makinde.
New drug promises to put an end to knee, back, and arm pain for good in 15 days.
But the near-perfect deepfake video is this one using our anchor Anne Wogodo to promote a supposedly breakthrough treatment for hypertension and those of the NCDC Director General, Dr. Fedayo Adedifa.
In 2 weeks, there will be no cholesterol in your blood vessels.
First, let's put the videos side by side and watch the similarity.
Treatment now. American doctors have created a drug that normalizes blood pressure in 3 days. In just one course of treatment, your body will become completely healthy and you will forget about hypertension forever.
But hey, this is what Anne actually said on the news at 10 on Sunday, October the 1st.
Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says that the present administration will not embark on blame game, but instead focus on fixing what is damaged in the country.
So far, we have put out a disclaimer which is pinned on the top of our Facebook and Twitter accounts. We have also reported the videos that were posted on Facebook and the pages that posted them, as well as notified relevant government agencies over the issues. If there is a time when the phrase, "it's not what you think," is most relevant, it is now. So please be careful, cautious, and observant, because with deepfake videos, it's really not what you think. Jeffrey Uzongo, Channels Television News.
Joining us to look at this issue is Buffy Diodi, an IT instructor and cybersecurity specialist based in Warri. He joins us via Zoom. Buffy, it's a pleasure having you with us today.
Oh, hello, Nathaniel. It's a pleasure to be here too. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Well, we have a very big issue on our hand. And the first question is, why are so many people open to using deepfake, across the world today? And if you can, please give us a brief about, deepfake, the reality of deepfake today.
Well, deepfake today has become, for those who know, has become a source of entertainment. But for some people, it has also become another attempt to carry on their nefarious activities, which for the most part is financial crime. But we are beginning to see deepfake show up in places like the political sphere and nation states, like we had the case with the Ukrainian president. A deepfake was circulated about him at the start of the war, which was very misleading. Why are people interested in this thing? I tell you, by nature, we look for anything that gives us an advantage over the next person. So selfishness is at its core. There are people who, threat actors here, who are, for the most part, just doing this for fun. But those who are really spearheading this deepfake of a thing, the ability to mislead a target audience or a larger population into with social engineering techniques, this has become something that you can really get people to do what they would not necessarily have done had they known any better. So why not? So those who have an ulterior motive are jumping on this thing, and we need to catch up with them and do something about it.
Yeah, truly, we need to catch up with them. Still, let's look at it again. Is there really only a malicious side to deepfake, or is there something good that we can really, get from this technology?
Well, it depends on who's using the technology. The technology in of itself is not the problem. It's the guys who are using it and what purpose they're using it for. So for example, we know for the most part, criminals are the ones using it right now, and that's why everyone seems to be concerned. But imagine if, for example, there was a hijack case, and the perpetrators of this hijack had some demands, and which required some verification, some video confirmation of someone. If the authorities were able to use the technology deepfake to simulate or to, at best, mislead these hijackers that their demands have been met, then one can argue that this technology has done something good. But any technology that by design is set out to mislead, to convince people otherwise, to push them to do things that they wouldn't have done had they known any better, one can argue that that technology is dangerous.
All right, that's a very positive way to look at deepfake. But you see, it has been looked at as an epidemic. In fact, there is a coming outbreak, according to specialists. There's a coming outbreak. So the question is, are we really just making a mountain out of a molehill, or is this something we need to really attack right now?
We are always playing catch up. In the cybersecurity world and in technology, we are always playing catch up with the bad guys. And if you think that the scamming which has plagued this country, for example, with basic email and phone call and spam email, if you think that was a problem, trust me, this is on another level. Because people now will be persuaded by the imageries and the voice and what they see to believe that something real is going on. And before you know what is going on, you can set the whole place on fire. So, for example, if a leader of a warring tribe was to make a statement that would irritate or trigger violence on the other side, and this was faked, before you can even address the issue at hand, lives are lost. So I think, and then that's just on that side. We have on the personal side, if everyone seems to be adopting AI as though somehow machines now know better than we do, we lose some of our creativity, our authenticity, we lose some of our ability to decipher what is fact from what is false. And that's dangerous ground that we're going into. So we can talk a lot about that. Let's see what happens.
All right. I mean, it's very key, because many people might just think, oh, why are we treating this at this time? But it's good that you have shown the potential, the threat it has. I mean, people are saying this can distort our democracy. You see, we saw the Pope wearing some fancy clothes at one point in time, and that was fake. We saw Donald Trump being arrested. That was fake. Earlier on, even in the year, for the election year, we saw audio and video clips of Atiku and, his vice at the time, staging how they were going to upset the whole election process, which was fake. We know the Labour Party, candidates was all in the news. And I mean, it's all that. And then the question is, these things are going to come even right into the court. The question is Nigeria ready at this time?
By any stretch of the imagination, you can argue that we are far behind. We have look at the current situation with scamming. We haven't had a hold on this yet. Nigeria is known, unfortunately, as a nation of scammers, right? Yeah. And what have the authorities done about something that is so prevalent? Everybody knows what's going on. Now imagine dealing with technology that even the legal system and the lawyers and the judges and the law enforcement have no clue about. We are not ready for this. There have been stories where, in divorce cases, for example, a spouse has doctored a recording of her partner, added a few more incriminating words there just to get the judge to persuade them to believe that the partner was at fault. And before they could know what was going on, the case has been closed, the guy has been prosecuted, and we have a problem. So now, if you come back to Nigeria, for example, how many of our law enforcement understand the technology? How many of our legal system even have a clue what's going on? So I think there's a lot to be done. And once we lose public trust in what we call objective media, who are we going to go to for news? Who are we going to go to? If we can't trust what we see and what we hear, then we have a big problem. Thank you.
Our next question will be, can you help us reel out some of the real dangers, imminent threats right now in Nigeria as regards the use of deepfake? I mean, we've just seen how some people are using it to scam. Are there other, real key threats that we need to be careful about right now?
Okay, so we've spoken about scammers, right? We've spoken about the justice system that is unprepared for what might be presented as facts or evidence. But let me speak from my background as an educator, educationist who's managed education institution. In 2026, it is projected that most of our written material will be AI generated, for example. Yes, so that's just one example. And just now imagine students who are presenting as their research paper, as product of their creativity, of their hard work, something that they just typed in the computer and was generated automatically. If the instructors or the faculty are not able to decipher and to tell this has been AI generated and this is not real, the wrong people get the wrong grades, and the system is unbalanced. And I feel that this has more of a negative impact on society as a whole, because we start producing doctors and professionals who don't qualify, but they have cheated the system. Remember, the whole drive about deepfake is to cheat, is to mislead. Whether we're doing it by video or by text or by audio, now we're doing it by print. We are misleading ourselves and our target audience by presenting a false expertise. So this is dangerous, in my opinion. And then just quickly, if you take it as a parent, for example, if your child starts to grow up, what's the drive to learn, to work hard, to test your mentality, to stretch your imagination, if you could just cheat the system and go online and create something? Even a child, once this technology becomes readily available, can pretend that, oh, daddy, I'm here where I'm not. He could show that, oh, I've done this when I've not. And we can no longer trust each other. And when we lose trust, everything else goes.
I like how you put it, because it says that right now you can't even trust what you see. We're going to hold it for that. We'll take a quick break. And, when we return, we'll be looking at practical tips on how to spot deepfake, and how to mitigate the threats of this menace. So stay with us. We'll be back very soon. Welcome back. You're watching Channels Beam, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. Buffy Diodi is our guest, and we are dealing with how to survive the coming outbreak of the malicious use of deepfake. Mr. Buffy, thank you for staying with us. Wow, when we lose trust, everything else goes. How then do we maintain trust? I mean, as an expert who's worked in this field for many years, can you give us tips as to how to spot deepfake and how to ensure that we're not caught in this deceit, and how to ensure that things run in according to excellence?
Well, okay, first of all, deepfake and AI is still evolving. So deepfake of 2018 is like Stone Age technology. And that's just how many years ago. So we have to recognize that this technology is still evolving. Machines are becoming more powerful. Data crunching is really in a new hemisphere right now. So, but for what we know, one of the obvious ways a layman can detect fake video, or what we call deepfake, for example, if you zoom into any video content that you've been given, you can observe that there might be pixelation somewhere, especially if the technology is not yet as advanced, because that might require a lot of funding or high-end machines. So for the most part, you'll be able to really tell that something is odd here. Perhaps the lip sync between the mouth and the voice
does not flow.
There might be some out of sync there. You might also see maybe certain features of the person might be disproportionate, and like we had with the Ukrainian president video at the start of the war. So these are obvious things you can do to just assess if this video is fake or not. Another thing you can look at is, this is what some of the social media companies are doing, is get a second opinion on any material that requires you to take an action on. So for example, you get a video and this requires you to say, take an action. Before you take action, get a second opinion. Is there somewhere else with a different source that says the same thing? Can you validate this information that you receiving? If someone has sent you a video, like a bank manager was strict, a bank official was strict by a deepfake video to release funds. I think about $35 million was transferred.
Wow.
Now, if there was another way of what we call multi-factor authentication systems, then we can avoid things like that. So there are many layers depending on the industry you're working with and the type of content that is presented as misleading. But if you get a second opinion, if you do some basic assessment and video analytics, we don't have much of digital forensic in this country, well, that I know of. But if not, get professional help. If you're put in a situation where you have to respond to content, say media houses, for example, like yourself, before you put things on air, you want to be sure that you have a second opinion and you've authenticated that material just the way you would do any other source of media that you might receive.
It's beautiful you've brought it to us, because I think that's what has kept us going for too long. Every story, everything published, everything that goes on air is well, authenticated. In fact, it is a key rule, our house rule. You don't get anything out until you are sure. I mean, way over 100% sure that it is solid. So let's take it again. Even from there, what are the giants? What are the tech giants doing? What are the social media firms doing? The big guys, what are they really doing, to help us, fight this deepfake crisis?
Well, as far as we know, most of the big social media platforms, Each company operates slightly differently. We know, for example, that Google has its own in-house research R&D department that's studying the technology. They're trying to beat the hackers at their own game, understanding what the technology is able to do, how to mitigate some of the uses of this technology for nefarious actions. We also have Reuters and other news medias, which are some of the things I explained earlier on, where they are creating some type of filtration system where they before something is publicized, it is vetted over and over again. But I know that government institutions like the FBI, the British government, they are creating policies and best practices to deter threat actors from engaging or participating in such activities using deepfakes. For example, copyright laws have been upgraded in certain countries to ensure that if you use someone's content or someone's likeness without their consent, then there are huge consequences for that. So these things will continue to evolve as the technology, as we learn more about the technology. But currently, research is going on. And sometimes we have, I think Facebook is partnering with other companies who are specialists in this field to help them sort out what is real, what is fake, because the nature of their business is such that they get a lot of stuff put on their platform, and they really need to be able to, in real time, at least as much as they can, check that stuff that gets out is not misleading, it's not fake. And so the tech companies are trying to come together. I'm not aware of any general standard that's existing right now. I know that the UN, the EU, the UK, and the FBI are working seriously. I'm sure very soon there will be regulations and policies that will come out. And countries like Nigeria, for example, should do the same. We shouldn't wait for others to get on board first before we take action.
All right. Countries like Nigeria should do the same. I am hoping really, that those in authority are watching and listening right now. Thank you, Buffy, for joining us. Thank you very much. That was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's our time. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It is my hope, really, that the government and those who are at the helms of affairs are really watching us at this time. And as always, we'll be leaving you with the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube. I'm Sunes Nathaniel. Till we meet again next week, beware of false audio calls that come with a familiar voice. I mean, don't trust all that you see on social media. Remember that the devil may wear Prada, but the Pope does not wear Balenciaga. That's my time. Till I see you next week. Hopefully, we stay away from being deceived. Do not let AI turn you into a MAGA. Bye for now.
Kicking up this week and most viewed on our YouTube channel is a video showing the State House of Assembly in Rivers State following an order by the governor stating that the complex had become inhabitable and consultants had asked that it be pulled down.
Motion to declare the seat of 25 defected members of the Rivers House of Assembly vacant. This House received correspondence, notices.
Still in Rivers State, this video comes in the 4th place, showing the moment in which Edison Ehie, a member of the Rivers State House of Assembly, declared the seats of 27 lawmakers vacant after their defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, APC.
To the All Progressive Congress. And we have also confirmed this visually, including videos that were posted via media houses and including the social media. We are aware
go still go.
Coming in third place is this clip in which former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, visited Kaduna State against the backdrop of the recent accidental military airstrike at Tudumberi village in the Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. There, Peter Obi questioned the commitment of the Nigerian government to its people.
The hard work and the effort of the military in helping us to secure the country. But then we should also re-examine and ask ourselves this fundamental question about this reoccurrence where we have 16 times and we have lost almost 500 people. Why is this happening and everything?
Taking the second place in this countdown is a reaction of the defectors from the Social Democratic Party SDP and the All Progressives Congress, who chose to join the Fubara-led PDP in Rivers State, stating that their cross-carpeting is in support of a leader committed to the development of his people.
Before the surprise undemocratic impeachment efforts of 30th October 2023 by a section of our legislative arm against you, the People's Governor. This undemocratic act is and was highly resisted and condemned.
Coming tops, as most viewed this week, is a video from an interview with the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who was of the opinion that there is no division in the People's Democratic Party to warrant the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly dumping the party for the All Progressives Congress. He adds that the defecting lawmakers may lose their seats.